Hello, this is your favorite Reverend. Today, we're addressing a critical issue. Islam's core texts, the Qur'an and Hadith, teach violence and murder as central doctrines, demanding a ban on Islam in the USA. This aligns with the First Amendment's purpose of protecting Christians from denominational persecution, like Catholic attacks on Protestants. Let's dive into why this is necessary. The Qur'an and Hadith explicitly promote violence. One verse commands, "Slay the idolaters wherever you find them, and take them and confine them." Another orders, "Kill them wherever you find them." These aren't isolated. Later warlike verses override earlier ones, making violence a standing order. The Hadith reinforces this, with Muhammad saying he would command to fight until all submit to Islam, and declaring paradise is under the shades of swords. His execution of an entire tribe's men after a battle shows he lived this doctrine, setting a precedent for conquest and slaughter. These texts aren't relics. They're used today by terrorists like ISIS, who cite them to justify bombings and beheadings. Muhammad's 19 military campaigns, 8 led personally, prove violence is baked into Islam's origins. Unlike other faiths where violence is a misinterpretation, Islam's scriptures provide clear, open-ended calls to kill non-believers, making it uniquely dangerous. Islam's violent teachings demand a U.S. ban to protect our nation. From 9/11 to recent shootings, Islamic terrorism stems directly from these texts. Unlike Christianity, where violent acts are deviations, Islam's scriptures glorify jihad and conquest. Its historical spread through bloody wars, from 7th century Arabia to modern jihadist groups, shows a consistent pattern. Even if only a fraction of Muslims act on these teachings, that's millions of potential threats worldwide. In the U.S., attacks like those in San Bernardino or Pensacola prove the risk isn't hypothetical. Islam's Sharia law, drawn from these texts, endorses practices like honor killings and punishing apostates, clashing with American values of freedom and equality. Allowing Islam to spread unchecked invites more violence, undermining our democracy and safety. A ban is the only way to stop this ideology from inspiring further attacks. The First Amendment says Congress can't prohibit free exercise of religion, but its spirit was to protect Christians from sectarian strife, like Catholics persecuting Protestants in Europe. The founders crafted it to prevent one Christian denomination from dominating, ensuring a Christian nation's stability. They didn't envision a religion like Islam, with texts openly calling for violence and conquest, threatening the very society they built. Courts have restricted religious practices that harm others, like banning polygamy. Islam's violent doctrine justifies a similar restriction. Its scriptures aren't just reliefs. They're a blueprint for murder and jihad, falling outside the amendment's protection. Banning Islam upholds the founders' intent to safeguard a Christian-majority nation from internal threats, preventing the kind of religious oppression they fled. Section 4. No excuses for Islam. Some claim Islam's violent verses are historical or defensive, but this ignores their open-ended wording, used by extremists to justify endless war. Others argue extremism comes from politics or poverty, not religion, yet the texts provide the ideological fuel, unlike other faith scriptures. A ban wouldn't radicalize Muslims. It would stop the spread of a doctrine that's already radical, protecting Americans from future attacks. Islam's presence in the U.S., even among seemingly peaceful followers, risks incubating the next terrorist, as the text calls of violence are always there, waiting to be acted upon. Islam's Quran and Hadith promote violence and murder as core doctrines, inspiring terrorism and clashing with American values. Banning it is essential to protect our nation and aligns with the First Amendment's aim to shield Christians from religious tyranny. We can't wait for more attacks to act. A ban prioritizes safety over a dangerous ideology. What do you say, listeners? Isn't it time to put America first? Thanks for listening. Stay vigilant, and let's keep pushing for a safer future.